Hi, everybody. I'm Alyce-Kay, and I'm here to do a personal update. People have told me that they appreciate getting these, so I'm doing it. I often feel kind of weird and nervous about it, but it does help to be able to share too. It helps me to kind of think through like what happened in my week, and I'd really recommend that for anybody because it's just kind of a nice review before you start into the next week, and just thinking about like what God did in my life and um, improvements and things that I need to work on and stuff like that, and just sort of like getting my mind ready for the next week. So that's just been really good. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is my health. Oh, well, let me write down something before I forget it too. Um, that's been actually improving somewhat, not a whole lot, but enough that I can tell. Like energy wise, I still don't feel like I have very much energy, but I was noticing the other day, about, I don't know, like a month ago or so, I had been taking 3 to 5 naps during the day. I mean, to the point it wasn't just, oh, I think I'm tired, I'll go lie down, or, being lazy or anything. It's like I would work for a little bit, like maybe read something for half an hour, and I would be so exhausted that I couldn't even sit up. I had to go lie down, and I would sleep for about an hour solid. And at nighttime, I was sleeping 8 to 11 hours too. So it's like all together throughout a 24-hour period, I was sleeping 11 to 15 hours. And I wasn't feeling very good. I was just really not having energy or anything, and also just in quite a bit of pain. And so one day this week, I realized that I hadn't even taken a nap all day. I was tired. I was really, really exhausted, but I had made it through the day without taking a nap. And so that was really encouraging and really good. And so I've been able to get a little bit more done. I still don't have a lot of energy, so it's hard to get a lot done, but at least I'm awake. That's a good first step. And then, it's like I think that my walking is improving a little bit. I know that so I couldn't bend my knee, my left knee, even at a right angle. And so going down, I have 16 steps going down from my front door to the driveway, and it's pretty steep. And when just pay attention next time that you walk down steps, you have to bend that back leg pretty much. And it's something that we just don't even think about. Um, and so I can't do that. And so I was having to go down backwards or sometimes sideways. And I'm holding on to these like shepherd's hooks things that you hang plants on. I'm holding on to those for dear life. And I thought yesterday, I kind of feel like I'm swinging on the monkey bars. And I thought, I've been telling people what I want to do is I want to put in a slide to go down to the driveway, but nobody thinks it's a good idea. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And then in the summer, I can put water on it and it'd be a water slide. Wouldn't that be cool? And anyway, so then yesterday when I was going down, because pretty much the only time I leave my house is to go to church. And so I was going down to get ready to go to mass. And I just thought, this feels like I'm on monkey bars trying to go down this. And I thought, wouldn't that be cool to have like some monkey bars, maybe even monkey rings that I could swing down? Because my upper body strength is pretty good. So anyway, but I am encouraged because I can bend my knee a little bit more. And so I'm thinking that, I may be able to get to where I can walk down the steps normally eventually. So if you're praying for my health, those are really good things to pray for. So another thing that was really fun was last week on Facebook, and then also in my newsletter, I shared a little bit about autism. And I had shared, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago about my diagnosis and everything, and how that has just been so helpful to me and a relief. But I wanted to share some more about that. And the response was really, really good. To my newsletter, especially, I have about 1,000 subscribers. I'm always weeding that out. I'm always telling the program, take off anybody who hasn't opened up a newsletter for 3 months, because I don't want to just have a bunch of people that are getting junk mail from me. And so that's a hint. If you get my newsletter, if you've subscribed, if you don't open it for 3 months, you're going to get unsubscribed whether you want to or not. So if you want to keep getting it, then at least just open it, even if you don't read it, even if you don't have time to read it. But I don't want to be like, a pain in anybody's inbox or anything. So anyway, I had told about that. And after sending it out over the past week, with a little bit less than 1,000 subscribers, there were quite a few who had written back to me. I would say maybe like 15 or 20, saying, and all women, saying that either they had a diagnosis of I was going to say Alzheimer's. autism or they think that they might. And so they were wanting to know more about that and everything. And so that was just really interesting because women's experience with autism is usually very different from the male experience. And what has been shown, like in movies and stuff, what we're more familiar with is male autism. And it's really just over the last, I don't know, like 10 or 15 maybe years, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure, that they've really understood that autism in females is different from in males. They were expecting, if a girl had autism, then she would be interested in trains and train schedules like boys, So since girls weren't interested in that, well, this is mainly a boy disease, or something like that, or disorder. And now it's like they're starting to not even look at it so much as a disorder or disease, but just a different way that our brains are. And so it's been really encouraging. It's helped me a lot because I look at things in my past that were always really confusing. Like my mom, when she would clean the house, about once a month, she would move everything around in a room. And that just really was horrible for me. And especially like if she'd move my piano, I was just like, I wouldn't say I had a meltdown, but I just really like I'd cry and everything was really upsetting. I've always been the kind of person just like nail the furniture to the floor, please. And stuff. And my poor mom, she's working hard to clean and I'm falling apart over it. But we never knew why I did that. Or kind of a funny thing is my mom, when I was little, she would tell me to put on a clean undershirt. And then after a couple days, she'd be helping me get ready for my bath. I was like 2 or 3 years old, and I'd be wearing three undershirts. Well, that's because she didn't tell me to take off the dirty one. And I wasn't being like sarcastic or anything like that. It's just I am very literal. And so we've always known that I'm very literal and we've joked about it a lot, but it's like, okay, here's the reason for it. So it's just been a real relief to find that out. And I know for a lot of people, it's not a relief. I know that it's very difficult for them, but this is just my experience has been that. And I don't see it as like a disability or anything like that at all. It has just been very, very positive for me to find that out. And my physician's assistant, when we were talking about it, he was very positive about it too. And again, I know that for some people, that's not a positive thing. So I don't want to, like invalidate your experience or anything, but this is just my experience with it. So I'll be sharing more about that in my newsletter and maybe on Facebook or something in the future. But anyway, so that was one other big thing. And it was just really neat hearing from other women about that, because it's like, it's something that we don't tend to talk about very much. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it, is because I kind of want to bring it out into the mainstream and normalize it so that people don't think that it's a disorder or something. It's like, okay, this is the way that God made my brain and it's different from yours. And so that has caused me, I think that the main negative things for me are that it's caused me problems in the past because I didn't know I was autistic and other people didn't know that I was autistic. And so it's caused problems, like people thinking that I was rebellious and stuff when I wasn't. I was doing exactly what I was being told, but it wasn't what people meant. But I didn't have any idea that that was the case. And, and I couldn't tell them because I didn't know that was the problem. And they didn't know to look for it. So it's like, I don't blame anybody for that or anything. It's just how it was. Um, so that's kind of why I want to bring it out, is because, it's like for people who feel like they're really alone when they have this diagnosis, or who people are wondering or anything, just to give them maybe a little bit more information, although there are a lot of really great sources out there. And I hope to be sharing more of those in the future, because I'm sure that they can give you a lot more help than I can. um, and then also just to kind of help normalize it so that people aren't scared of it or, think, oh gosh, you guys are so weird or anything like that. We're just different. And God gives us gifts and stuff. And I'm finding that as I have learned to use the tools that are available to me, and as I've started to stop trying so hard to be normal, that it's really freeing me up a little bit more to be able to explore my gifts in that regard and stuff. And so that's just really neat. I think that I've spent a lot of energy in my life so far trying to be normal and trying to not be so all these things that go along with it. Anyway, I talked about that in my newsletter. I'll try to remember to link that below in case you want to see that issue or sign up or whatever. So that was one thing this week. And then another thing was that I got a lot of recording done. I recorded all the videos for next week and I recorded most of the videos for the following week. And that's because I want to really be able to focus in the next couple weeks on Bill's estate. That's just been like hanging over my head. I'm getting a little bit done all the time, but not as much as I would like to just get it over with, get it done. That's like, if you want to pray for me, that's the main thing to pray for me in the next couple weeks. And, you know, and a lot of it just depends on how much energy I have, but at least, I've tried to get a lot of the things done that I normally do during the week. I've tried to get those done ahead of time so that I can just focus on that. And of course, that won't be the only thing that I have to focus on, but it allows me a lot more time. The other thing that was really fun was, and this came about because of the whole autism thing. It's like I'm looking for tools um, for processing and coping and stuff, because one thing with most autistics is that we get overwhelmed very easily by things, by just having too much and stuff. And so, and we just process things differently. And I'm trying to try different things to help me process things a little bit better. And so back between Easter and Pentecost, so between like, what was that, the middle of April, Easter, and the beginning of June, I had a Bible study series called Easter to Pentecost. And we looked at, you know, different readings in the Bible and talked about those. And then there was like a doodling experiment at the end of each day. Experiment, that's not the right word that I want. Exercise at the end of each day. And I usually I like to do calligraphy, and I like to draw trees and flowers and just like abstract stuff and everything. But for this, I really needed to be able to draw people, and I am not good at drawing people. So I was just doing stick figures. I had so much fun with those stick figures, and I wouldn't say that I'm like talented in that or anything like that, but I just had a lot of fun with it. So I decided to kind of start doing a drawing journal and processing through that. And it usually takes me probably about an hour each day. But when I'm doing that, I'm listening to the radio. I usually listen to relevant radio, you know, like some devotional stuff and everything. And so, you know, so I'm filling my mind with the word and with discussion about that and everything while I'm drawing. So I don't feel like I'm wasting time, is I guess what I'm saying. And and anyway, so that has just been really, really good for me. It's really helped me process through some things. So I thought I would just share with you the drawings that I did this last week. They're nothing like super artistic or anything like that, but I just thought it would be a fun way of showing my last week. So these are two little boys from my church, and I've scribbled out their names. Oops, I am not showing them to you right now, am I? I need to share my screen. Sorry about that. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So this is actually, I had done this as a sketch a few months ago. I scratched out their names just on this picture, not in my journal, but they're two little boys at my church, and at morning mass, they were setting up the candles and everything and lighting them and stuff. And they were using a level to get the candles to be just exactly right. And I just thought, wow, that is so cool. It reminded me of a quote from Saint Therese of Lisieux, where she said, "Do small things with great love." And, you know, they were doing just the small things that maybe nobody would notice, but they were trying to make it perfect because it was a worshipful thing for them. And these two boys, when they have been altar servers, have just really strengthened my devotion to Christ, and just seeing their reverence as they serve at the altar during Mass and before and after Mass. And yeah, just, and their attention to detail. It has just been, it's meant so much to me. So I decided to make that sketch into something in my journal. And then, is this gonna, okay, I thought I was gonna be able to just share these. Let's see here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to share them. Okay, well, let me go here. Sorry, I thought that I had these organized in a neat way. Okay, so and then this one is also a sketch that I had done before of cat. Of course, we do not have cats in church, but I like to put cats in my drawings. And so this is my friend Annette. She's really, really little. She's really cute. And she's just like a wonderful, devout Christian. And so I wanted to have something of her reading the Word of God. And then okay, and then these ones are more from like this week. So these aren't like pictures, like true to life pictures. They're more like, I don't know, my fantasy or something, but I do drink olive oil. So, and I have a bottle of it in here. So I drink my olive oil. It's really good for you. It's a good health thing. And so here's Abby and Ellie with me. My office does not look anything like this. My office is actually a huge mess. But I like to fantasize about sitting outside and working on my computer and writing. That's my dream for someday. So that's what that is about. And then, okay, so then we had, this was like Thursday, I think. We had a visitor at our house. It was kind of scary. This guy was knocking at the door, and my friend who's living with me, she came in and she said, "Do I have to answer the door? Because this guy is acting really weird." And I said, "No, you don't need to answer the door. It's not like legally you have to answer the door or anything." And so I was kind of getting up. It takes me a little while to get from my desk. So I told her to go look out the window so she could see what was happening. And he had been like yelling at the door and just really scary. And he went down into our driveway and was yelling at the house and stuff, and then kicking and beating up the trash can. Um, and so we called the police because we were really scared. We didn't know what he was going to do. And it wasn't somebody we knew or anything. And so, we didn't know why he was mad or anything. And so the police came, they talked to him, and they ended up taking him away. And one of the police officers came and talked to me afterwards and explained that they deal with him about every month. And it took a couple hours for me to, well, we were like shaking, and of course we were praying for God to keep us safe and everything like that. But it took a couple hours for me to finally think about him, which I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that, but that's how it is. For me to start thinking, I really need to pray for him. The officer had said that he has mental health issues. And so, um, and God started showing me as I was drawing this and kind of processing the whole thing. God started showing me that he brought him there. He allowed him to come there and get our attention so that he would have somebody to pray for him. That's probably not what was going on in his mind, but that was what God allowed, was so that we could be praying for him. And it struck me that he was a lot like my character Nelson in my books. And so, yeah, so I'm just praying, that his mental health issues will resolve, and that he can keep them under control with medication or whatever. And, just for his safety. And, I have our guardian angels up here at the top, his guardian angel and then our guardian angels, and how they were all working together both to keep my friend and me safe, but also to keep him from doing anything that would land him in jail or something like that, or, do anything that would be horrible. I mean, the worst thing he did was he beat up our garbage can and lost the lid. I'm assuming that went down into the holler, and neither of us can get down there. So, um, but that was the worst, and that's not anything that's really, really horrible. And so, so his guardian angel was looking out for him, and God was obviously looking out for him. So there was just a lot of lessons learned from that. And this is what I mean, that drawing like this has just really helped me to work through those things. And then, oops, where is it here? And then this is just a funny one. This is, I was watching my friend's dogs, and one of them was just really hanging out with me, especially because there was a thunderstorm. And so I thought, well, I'll draw him with me and everything. And of course, nothing in this is realistic, except he kind of looks like that, and my cat kind of looks like that. But other than that, I do not have purple walls. I don't have any plants in my house because they would die. This doesn't look like my couch, and I'm not thin, but stick figures are thin, so that's how it is. So that was just kind of fun. And then I was doing a recording on Jeremiah 29:11, and just thinking about that and thinking about how I might have my plans, But God has plans for me that are so much better. And I always want to make sure that I'm listening to what He wants for me and what He wants me to do. He has the overall picture, not just for my own life, but for, um, for everything that He wants to go on and how I want to be sensitive to Him moving us all into position to do the things that He wants us to do and to be able to help people in various ways and everything. So that's what that one was about. And then, sorry, you guys, I'm having a hard time navigating here. And then this one, oh, my memory has been so bad lately, and sometimes I say really weird things. And so I was saying, I feel like my brain fell out and Shiloh, the dog, ate it. So I decided to do that in a picture. So that's what's going on here. And we've been saying, because the two new dogs really, really want to eat my cats. We say friends don't eat friends. So that's what that's on about here. And then fleas are not friends. And then I have some little dog sayings up here like loyalty is a virtue, play is good, accept treats, greet everyone with enthusiasm, that kind of thing. So that's what's going on there. And then this last one was yesterday. It was announced in church that our seminarian, who's right here in the middle, Bo, who he is so neat, that he's going back to seminary in August. So we're losing him from our church, but he's just been really neat. And so one of the things that he and I have in common is that we became Catholics after being Protestants. He was Baptist, and I was Mennonite Brethren and then Pentecostal. And one time when he was reading the psalm for the day, it was the one that talks about coming forth rejoicing, bringing in the sheaves of wheat. And so I was asking him afterwards, so what song were you thinking of? Because among evangelicals, bringing in the sheaves, bringing in the sheaves, and that's not a song that the Catholics know. And so I just kind of, wanted to remember that. And I was kind of processing him, because it's kind of not processing him, processing his leaving, because it's kind of, even though like I didn't get close to him or anything like that, a friend and I took him and our priest out for lunch one day, so I got to know him a little bit, but, didn't really have a lot to do with him. But still, people coming in and out of my life is difficult for me. And this is one of the ways that I can process that. And so then up here in the corner, I have this angel who is sowing seeds, SEW, sowing seeds, because in the hymn it says, sowing in the morning, sowing seeds of kindness. And I always thought, I didn't know it was bringing in the sheaves, because when I was a little kid, I didn't know what a sheave was, or a sheaf. And so I thought it was bringing in the sheets, bringing in the sheets. And I thought that they were sowing seeds of kindness on the sheets. And I thought those must be such beautiful sheets. So that's what that part is about. So this was just like my way of processing a change in my life, even though it's a small change. And I think it's good to work with those small changes, so that when I have big changes, I've got this tool already in place for processing them. So that's what that's about. So it's just, it's not like my drawings are really great or anything. They're just stick figures. I think that what really makes them fun is the colors, the really bright, saturated colors. Those are some alcohol pens that my friend Lori Johnson gave me a couple of years ago, and I just love using them because they're such deep, rich colors. They're just really neat. They're fun to work with. So that's my week. That's basically been it. Oh, I was going to say too, when I do these drawings in the morning, like while I'm listening to relevant radio and stuff, I just feel like my day goes so much better and I get more done, and I just feel more serene, I guess would be the word. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's possible for me to feel serene, because I'm not really that kind of personality type, but I feel more calm. I don't feel so zigzaggedy inside. I'm not really sure what the word. So I don't feel so much in turmoil inside. And so that has just been a really good practice for me. And I think it's one that I'm going to try to continue at least through the month of August and see how that goes. But I have found that investment first thing in the morning, at first I thought, well, if I do this every day, then I won't have as much time to get as much done. That investment has really, really helped me. And it has helped me to organize my mind more and feel more able to do things. And so it's just, yeah, it's really helped me a lot. So I'm going to keep doing that. So anyway, that's it. That's my week. I don't really know what else to share. But I love you all, and thank you so much, everybody, for your encouragement and your love and prayers, especially prayers. All right, I love you all. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.